The year is 1944. The place is Fort Neal, Louisiana, a segregated military base in the Jim Crow South. The war is raging in Europe, and the black soldiers of Fort Neal are training to fight. One day, the body of a black sergeant is found in the woods near the base. He has been shot to death. The military police call in Captain Davenport, a black officer from the Judge Advocate General's Corps, to investigate the murder. Davenport arrives at Fort Neal and is immediately met with suspicion and hostility. The white officers and soldiers don't want a black man investigating the murder of one of their own. They think he's going to come back with a whitewashed report. Davenport knows that he has to tread carefully. He can't afford to make any enemies, or he'll never get to the truth. He starts by interviewing the soldiers who knew the victim. He learns that the sergeant was a hard man, but he was also fair. He was respected by the black soldiers, but he was also feared by the white soldiers. Davenport also learns that the sergeant had been involved in a fight with two white officers just a few days before his murder. The officers claimed that the sergeant had attacked them, but the black soldiers said that the officers had started the fight. Davenport begins to suspect that the sergeant's murder was racially motivated. He believes that the white officers killed him in cold blood, but he needs more evidence to prove it. Davenport continues his investigation, and he eventually uncovers a shocking secret. The sergeant was not the only black soldier who had been targeted by the white officers. There had been a string of attacks on black soldiers at Fort Neal, and the officers had gotten away with it. With this new evidence, Davenport is able to build a strong case against the white officers. He arrests them and charges them with murder. The officers are eventually convicted and sentenced to prison.
Davenport's investigation brings to light the racism and violence that black soldiers faced in the Jim Crow South. It also shows the importance of having black officers in the military to ensure that justice is served for all soldiers, regardless of their race. Davenport's story is a reminder of the sacrifices that black soldiers made during World War II. They fought for their country, but they also fought for their own freedom. They refused to be treated as second-class citizens, and they demanded justice. Davenport's story is also a reminder that racism is a real and persistent problem. It's a problem that we still face today, but it's a problem that we can overcome if we stand together and fight for justice.